like that's something that happens. Like you could always just like tip the police car and they won't say shit.
We love miscorruption.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to an interesting discussion. Sometimes I'm Haran. I'm back with Christian and Tarun. No Harsha today.
Again?
These things happen. I don't know what to say. We'll give him shit next time. But we do have a special guest. Her name is Amara. She's been on the podcast, I think, 2 times before already. So you guys probably have heard of her before. But Amara, why don't you reintroduce yourself to the podcast?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Amara. Like Haran said, I've been on the episode twice, once by myself and once with Buska, my boyfriend. So I'm really excited to be back. So looking forward to what you guys have today.
Yeah, I mean, glad you're back with us. A lot has happened in your life, I think, since we last talked to you. So we'll be getting into that in this episode. There's some places you've been to that we'll talk about. But I think the most important thing that's changed in your life is that you've moved to New York City, like most people.
Yes.
I think you moved, like pretty much around this time last month in February. So would you want to like go into? I mean, I know you've been talking about going to New York for a long time, but like, what was the main pull for you to go there? What was making you want to go there in the first place?
Yes. It's actually, or this past weekend was actually our month anniversary of living here, which is crazy because I feel like I've only been here for like 2 days. I don't know. It still feels so new to me, but so I moved last month and it's been pretty crazy, but I mean, a lot of, you all know, and a lot of my friends know, like I've been wanting to move out here for a while. But because of, the pandemic and just like things going on in my life, it got kind of delayed, but, and everything just ended up working out anyways with like, I found a roommate I really appreciate. And then also the winter time or like the timing of when I moved was great too. I feel like if I were to move like in the summer or the years before, it might've been a lot crazier and harder to find kind of a place that I really liked. So I think taking my time really helped. So for anyone listening, if you want to move to New York, I definitely advise you to just take your time and just, let it all pan out on its own.
So you guys live in Williamsburg, right? Which is like not a typical location when people consider moving to New York. Like everyone wants to go live to like Midtown or I guess like pretty much just Manhattan area. How's that experience been for you? Like, have you grown to like it? Did you already know you're gonna like it from the get go? How's that lived up?
Yeah, no, I mean, good question. I definitely feel like, not that I get shit for it for living like not in Manhattan, but sometimes they're like, oh,
you one of those people?
So not in the city.
Who says oh?
But,
call them.
I don't know. Just sometimes like, I don't know who's going to be listening to this, but just people.
You know who you are.
Like people I'm not close with, but they're just like they're like, oh, are you in the city? And then I'm like, no, I live in like Brooklyn. And they're like, oh, okay. And then the analogy that they give me, but the analogy they give is like, oh, I don't know if anyone's watched Gossip Girl, but they're like, oh, you're living like Dan from Gossip Girl because he's just quote unquote the poor guy.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my god! Damn.
That probably sounds so bad, but it's like, I mean, if you've seen Gossip Girl, it's like situated around all these like very rich people who live on like Upper East Side New York, but so living in like Brooklyn is considered like not to their standards. So they're like, you live in Brooklyn, like where Dan lives. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? It's great. But no, I actually really like it here. Like I live in Williamsburg, so I think that honestly is like a good in between or a good balance between like everything, you want in New York, like Lower East Side or Manhattan is really only like a 15-minute, subway ride for me. Like it's only 3 stops away from me. So it's really not that bad to get into the city. Plus here it's like really quiet too. Like, cause when I was touring, I mean, I toured a few places in Manhattan too. And like like, I think what I didn't like about it was kind of like stepping into like a really busy or like dirty street, I guess. Like I didn't really like want that. So like when we were touring places here in Williamsburg, it was just like, it kind of just like suited what we were looking for more. And, kind of like moving, you know, from New York or from DC, like the suburbs to New York, I feel like this is like a good, I guess, like baby step.
Yeah.
But yeah, plus there's like still a lot of things to do here, like so many restaurants and like places to go out. Like I haven't even really like explored the area that much. But like thrift stores are also only like a 15-minute walk away from me. And as you guys know, I love thrifting, so it's more my pace, I feel like. So
I'm more jealous that you have a Trader Joe's right next to you.
it's not next to me per se, but it is just like a 15-minute subway ride, so it's not that bad. There is one in Williamsburg.
Dude, you want to guess how much I paid for aluminum foil the other day?
Aluminum foil? No. Or how much?
Honestly, like, this was a mistake. Like, I should have just Amazoned it or something like that. I just wasn't thinking. I was just stupid. And had I had the receipt, maybe I could have returned it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So you want to guess? The grocery store I went to is the Amish market, by the way.
How big is this roll?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it was one of the bigger ones, like 175 feet. Like I think normal is like 50 or 60, like 75, but this one's like oh sorry, not 175, 150.
I don't know.
What are the
Over
standard roll
$10.
aluminum foil
Yeah,
cost?
I don't
Anyone know?
really-
Yeah, I was like, I don't really
aluminum
know.
markets anymore,
Over
man.
$10.
Because it's usually like a one-time purchase, and that shit lasts you for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like maybe I don't know too well either, but like I feel like it's generally like $10 or less. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I was thinking if this dude went over $10, that we would have an issue. But clearly you have an issue.
A doublet, fam.
20.
22.
Oh my days!
You paid $22
Yo.
for aluminum
It
foil?
would be cheaper for you to buy a brick of aluminum ore and fucking roll it down yourself.
Yeah, just make your
For
own.
frame of reference, I checked Amazon Fresh like the day after because I made that realization that why the fuck did I not just Amazon this? And it was $13. So
Okay, it's not that bad.
there you go.
I mean, it's bad.
No,
it
that
is
is,
bad.
dude.
It is
That's
bad.
like
No, it is
almost-
bad. It is
yeah,
bad.
it's
It's bad, but it's not like
85%.
yeah.
Yeah. Save $10.
What did you need it for? Just out of curiosity.
Just daily life.
What?
He didn't need it. He
Just
didn't need it
daily
for
life.
anything.
You,
He
did,
just
you
wanted
didn't
to
need
get
it that
for, like-
day?
Technically, no. Technically, I didn't need it that day. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I needed it because I knew that eventually I was gonna end up buying pizza, and like I needed aluminum foil to put it in. Obviously, I could have put it in a Tupperware, something, anything else, in the fridge.
I take back my okay.
Well, but you made pizza. Like you warmed up pizza that day, or
I did this weekend. I used.
so you didn't need it that day. You're such an idiot. Wait, you didn't have a receipt? You couldn't return it?
I had the receipt, and then
Okay, all my sympathy's
think in
all my
walking
sympathy's
over-
gone. My sympathy's gone, bro.
anyway, I know I made a mistake, man. I prefaced this by saying it's a mistake. Okay, you don't have to shit on me anymore. I feel bad enough.
Yeah, but
I thought it was
funny
like a
mistake.
necessity, like you needed it that day, and I was like, okay, then I'll allow it
Yeah.
because like you didn't have an option, like you couldn't Amazon it
I
immediately.
just really kill myself.
Actually, you can Amazon things immediately now. You can get same day delivery. You can get
Yeah,
like,
same day.
That's true.
No.
So no excuses, honestly.
Mar, have you been wasting money like this in New York? Oh wait, no, sorry, you're poor people. You can't be wasting money. I'm sorry.
Yeah, do you waste non-existent money?
I'd rather call myself efficient than poor.
Hey, I'm
Or
about
smart
to
with
save
my
so
money.
much money in Ramadan, dude.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm excited for.
Ramadan gonna
Only
be a
half
cheap
the
month.
meals.
No drinks.
Exactly.
Drinks is the craziest part, man.
I know. It's insane here, but
Are you gonna miss a feast you
I
get
mean,
at home
I've-
though for Ramadan? I feel like that's like a big pull, right? Like just being at home, like having food with all your
Yeah.
family.
yeah, that's true. This is gonna be like my first time doing like a full month of Ramadan not at home, I guess. Like usually like even when it started, like while we were in school, like I would still come home for like half of it or like majority of it. So this is like, I really have to like hold myself accountable like this time, because like I don't have my parents like waking me up to eat before sunrise and like stuff like that. Or like, you know, my mom like meal preps for us with her like, you know, traditional food. Like now I have to do all that myself. So it's going to be interesting, but I'm excited. I think it'll be good for me because I feel like ever since I moved here, I still haven't really gotten like a routine down, but like I feel like with this, it's kind of gonna like break up my day to like, oh, you know, this is when I should eat, and then I'm like fasting, and then I break my fast at a certain time, so it'll like, I don't know, I feel like it'll help me get into a routine, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, save a lot of money. I did notice though, like, back to what you said, True, and like I feel like since I moved here, I've noticed that the prices here are definitely marked up. Like I wouldn't say I bought a $22 roll of aluminum foil, but I'm like,
fuck.
yeah. I don't know, just like looking at stuff like eggs, or like I think I bought like cheese, like just Parmesan cheese, and it was like over $10, and I'm like, I definitely don't think I should be paying. No, it was just like grated cheese, and I'm like, why is it so expensive? Like, I don't know.
I feel like I just feel like in general, all food is just expensive now compared to like before. I don't know if like, I mean, I don't know. I just really like when I just go buy like random shit for my mom, like she asks me like, oh, can you go get this? I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll go get it. And like, just like random stuff just be a lot of money, and like I'm just buying one item, and I'm not even buying my own groceries. So like I feel like when I move, it's gonna hit me like a fucking I said Brock, it's a brick and rock combined. Like I'm gonna I don't know. I'm scared to see those grocery bills when I move, but we'll deal with that later.
Even when we were in college,
it's insane.
Like it was definitely like at least like 10-50% cheaper. I feel like.
Yeah.
Like even now,
easily.
It's I mean I know I guess maybe it's a little bit more marked up here than it was before I moved, but I mean I try to not spend $100 every week like for all the food. Like, but that's teetering, because I bought 18 eggs the other day in one carton, bro. That was almost $100 by itself. I swear to God.
How much is your 18 eggs? I'm curious.
I don't know. I was actually curious because I've been hearing people talk about like, eggs, and so I was like, damn, how much did I spend on these eggs? Like I think. Because I also buy like the free range, like the nice organic eggs.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that sounds like it's like fucking $20, but I don't think it's that much. I think it's probably closer to like 12 or 15. But still, that's still a lot of money to be paying. But
yeah.
Because here I think I saw 18 for 9. So maybe that's not that bad. Yeah, dude, I had this idea. I was like, dude, because you can order groceries here like on like Instacart and like Mercado and all this stuff. And so it has all the prices on there. So I was like actually dead ass thinking after the aluminum foil incident, I was dead ass thinking about writing like a Python script to like go through and get all of the prices for everything and compare them and tell me the cheapest way to get my groceries.
Pretty smart.
Can you share that with me?
Yeah.
Put it to Brooklyn.
See, that's how Mars being efficient. Make sure to do the work for us.
Exactly. I have smart friends. Yes.
All right, like you said, it's your month anniversary, or this past weekend it was. So just like more reflecting. Would you say so far it's lived up to your expectations? Is there anything that you've been like super happy with? Anything you've been super disappointed about, or has it all just been like a relatively positive experience for you?
Honestly, I would say like it's been positive so far. I think like the unfortunate thing about the past month is that I was like telling people, I think this past week, even though I've been here for a month, this past week was the first like full week that I've actually been here, like full like weekend to weekend kind of thing. Cause like every week I've had to like just travel for work and stuff. So like I never felt like I like fully settled. And just like got to enjoy like my weekends and stuff like that without like stressing about like, oh, I have to, travel the next day. But, I think like the best part was just like, I don't know. I feel like we've been meeting a lot of like new people, like a lot of like, I I mean, like you said, a lot of people have been moving to New York recently, and they would, you know, kind of have like their own like kind of squad or like mutual friends here. So it's like kind of like bringing all of our worlds together. And I think like people are like super open about that here. Like I feel like, you know, back at school or like back in like DC or Nova, like I guess like people are just so comfortable with their like cliques. Like you don't really usually meet new people that often, but here like, oh, like just constantly like meeting new people every weekend, and everyone's just like so open about it. And like the amount of just like new numbers I got just from like meeting people, I'm like, I feel like I never got like anyone's like numbers like that in DC. Like people are just like, hi, bye. And then I never really see them again. You know what I mean? But here they're like, oh, you live in Williamsburg? Like I live there. Like give me your number. Like we'll go out, do this. And I'm like, that's so nice and like refreshing. Like, you know, like I feel like sometimes people have this like connotation in like New York that like, you know, it's hard to like, even though it's so busy, it's hard to like make friends or meet new people. But I feel like I've gotten like a different experience here. But I definitely don't think I could have done it without like the friends and like the support that I have here already. So I think I'm grateful that I at least know, you know, people to start off with.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rune. So, but yeah, like, but yeah, I think it's been like super fun so far. So I'm like really excited to, you know, fully live it out here.
You know, it's interesting you bring that up. I mean, would you say you're like also adopting the mentality of like when you go see people now, like you're also kind of like being super friendly and like saying like, hey, I'm in this area, like we should like exchange numbers? Or is it like more of the other person coming up to you and like leading the charge?
Yeah, I think like I definitely want to try to be that way. I don't think like I would have initiated at first, just because I'm like new, or it's like kind of intimidating for me. So, but now that I've seen like what people are like, I'm like, you know what, like that's awesome. Like I shouldn't be afraid to like, you know, reach out to these people. Yeah, like put myself out there. Like everyone's just so friendly, and like no one, I hear this all the time, but like no one like gives a fuck here. They're just gonna do whatever the fuck they want. So it's like, I feel like that's pretty awesome. And that's kind of like what I needed. I feel like I just feel like I've been in such a bubble and like living at home, like all these years after like graduated school, like I never felt like I wanted to put myself out there. I was so comfortable, but now I feel like, I don't know. I feel like this is just so much more refreshing, and it's like kind of what I needed in my life. So I'm excited.
All right, Amara, we all know you as a really positive person. So what's the worst thing that's happened since moving to you? Like, what's the worst aspect of it? Because I know if I don't ask you that, you're not going to say that. So
no, I mean, I was thinking about that because I was like, I should put something out here, drop something that was like really bad. I don't know. I feel like I'm like exhausted all the time here. I actually, I mean, I guess this doesn't, I mean, maybe it does relate to like moving to New York, but actually for one of the weeks that I was traveling, I missed my flight, and it was like, it was so terrible. Like I missed my flight. Like it was like for one of my trainings that I had to go to, and like the night before, it was just really hectic. Like I was like seeing some people, and then like I had to go home and pack. And like, I feel like since I've been here, like I never got a chance to just like sit down and breathe and like get my shit together. So I feel like that all kind of like piled up. And then like not last week, but the week before, I had a flight on like Wednesday morning at like 8 a.m. And that means I had to get to the airport by like, I don't know, 6. So it just, I was up till like 2 a.m. just like cleaning up my stuff and like packing. And I had friends visiting me too after I came back from my trip. So I had to like clean up everything for them before I, you know, got back. So then I didn't sleep until like 2 a.m. And I was like, I'm going to take a quick nap before I have to wake up at 5 to like, you know, get ready and stuff. And then I ended up waking up at 8:45. My flight was at 8.
No.
And I was like freaking out. I literally like almost started crying. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, my business trip was like only for like this like training program that I had to go to like Dallas for. And I was like, it probably isn't a big deal. Like maybe like I should just miss a day, or like maybe I don't even have to go at all if it's like an emergency. But then I saw that the no-show fee for not coming to this training was $5,000.
What?
If I didn't come, it cost $5,000.
My God.
I started shaking, bro. I was like, there's no way I can't go to this. I'm paying New
That's
York rent now.
I'm sure you get a cheaper Uber to go to Dallas for less than $5,000.
Yeah, honestly.
Wait, but Deloitte wouldn't take that cost. They wouldn't take that cost.
I mean, it was a Deloitte provided training.
They
But
would
you're
charge
like,
her.
you're like Deloitte
They're
headquarters,
charging
yeah.
me that money.
Yeah.
Like,
Deloitte? Oh
Yes.
my God.
Like, this was at their like Deloitte University. Like, this was like a Deloitte funded training, and like,
Jesus.
I freaked out when I saw that amount, and then like I think I was like internally screaming, but it was actually so loud that like Bhavana, my roommate, like came in and she's like, "Why are you still here?" And I was like, "I don't know."
You tell
And
me.
he's like freaking out to her. And,
Oh,
but like
God.
that was probably the most stressful like day of my life here, and like luckily, like I just like started messaging a ton of people who were like the event organizers for these trainings, and they were like, I mean, like there's no penalty for you showing up late. So I was like, okay, great. Like, what should I do? And they're like, just like reschedule your flight and just like let us know when you're here, and we'll just like put you in the room that you need to be and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I guess like the good thing out of that was I got more sleep and
Yeah.
didn't have to pay
$5,000.
$5,000.
Crazy. That's
But
crazy.
I was just like, I was so over it. Like, it was kind of bad timing for me to have like, or for them to have to schedule that training like during that week, because I was
Yeah.
just so exhausted. But yeah, I'm glad I got out of that. So yeah, that was a terrible week, but it's okay. I'm here now. And I'm not as broke as I was before. As I was already.
The mortgage went back. Like, but I live in Brooklyn. How am I supposed to pay okay, it's on
I'm
us. It's
so
on us. We won't charge you.
efficient.
We got it.
I'll give you some aluminum foil. Don't buy it.
Shut up, please. Yeah. Yeah. That's the downside.
Sorry, I asked.
No, you're good. It's a funny story now, for sure.
yeah.
But yeah.
Only after the trauma, yeah.
Does that mean you went for like a day?
So I ended up landing in Dallas around like 4:30, and like all the events started like after lunch, like 1. So I really only missed like, I guess like 3 or 4 hours of it.
Oh.
So it's not that bad.
Do it
but
again next time.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm like, dang, was this the move the whole time?
Did they cover
Yeah, just go
the
late.
did they cover the
Yeah,
changing the flight and everything?
I think so, because I mean, like, I just charged everything
got
to
approved.
like the corporate
Let's
card,
go.
so nothing ever. It was funny because when I called like the like people who were in charge of my trips, I was like, "How are you guys like? Am I gonna get refunded or for like the flight I missed and stuff? Like, is that going to be charged to my personal card?" And then she was like, "Oh, if you want me to charge it to your personal card, you can give it to me." And I was like,
hanging
"No."
up the phone.
I was like,
Sorry,
"Forget
wrong
I
number.
asked."
Wrong number.
Like, I don't have a personal card. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, I think everything was like dealt with, luckily. So
Crazy.
yeah, it's a life hack,
my God.
honestly.
Like
But it caused me some trauma, but I found a life hack.
Hey, that's an infinite supply. You know, everybody got extra trauma, you know?
Yeah.
I guess moving on to more positive things. Are there any places that you're looking forward to exploring in the coming months while you're there? I mean, especially now with the weather getting nicer. Like, are there any outdoor spots that you found in the city that you want to go see, or anything just on your mind?
Yeah. I mean, I think I got like a list of recs of like all these like outdoor like parks that, you know, I should visit while I'm here. Or even things like when it's warmer, like the beaches or like the coast that's near here. Like, I've never been to like Coney Island and stuff like that. I think there's like another beach, I'm forgetting what it's called, like close to Long Island, that some people go to that's like nicer and cleaner. So I think that's
Long Beach.
Is it? Is that actually what it's called?
What did you say?
He said
I
Coney
said
Beach.
Long Beach.
Long Beach?
Oh.
Instead
I
of
said Long
Long
Beach.
Island, it's Long Beach.
Yeah, Long Beach in California.
I don't know. I would have believed you said yes.
I should have left it that way.
Yeah. But yeah, like I think that would be pretty cool to see. And I think the nice thing here is like, I mean, obviously like no one here has like a car, but everything is like accessible through like their subways, like, or their buses and stuff like that. Even though the commute is like really long, but I think it's like, it's easier. Everything is like super accessible, which is cool. But yeah, there's still so many things like we have to try. Like I was talking to like Bhavana and we were like, oh my gosh, we still have to like, we have like a long list of things that we want to do, like catch like a Broadway show or like a comedy show. Or we're like, oh, we want to like maybe get to like one of those like late night shows or something like that. Like there's just so
that'd be
many
fun,
things here, right? Yeah. Or like, I don't even know, like concerts and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I feel like it gets overwhelming thinking about it sometimes, but we have like a very long bucket list. So
When we were planning this episode, Trun was just feeling a little slighted by you. I don't know if he's okay to voice his
Slighted?
concern, but I mean, I think maybe things have changed since we
Why?
talked about this because I think you guys did hang out this past weekend.
Yeah.
But up to I think I guess last week, Trun was feeling a little slighted that you just hadn't really spent that much time with him. You know, he was. But now I also feel bad mentioning it because you just talk about how fucking stressful your life has been in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, fuck you, True.
So I'm gonna let Trun take this over if he wants to talk about it.
The craziest thing is like this is the craziest thing, right? So before like this episode, obviously the boys were brainstorming ideas of what to talk to you about. And they had asked me, you know, like, oh, like, have you hung out with Amara yet? And it was pretty much like my first week here, essentially, right? And I was like, no, dude, like, I haven't heard from Amara. Like, I'll probably hear from her soon, but like, what the hell, man? All this stuff. And now that we're just talking, I know what week that was.
that was that week. That was the week you moved in. It was like March like 8th or something. That was that week after you moved in. Yeah, no, it's funny you say that because like after like that week I came back from like traveling and stuff, I was like, damn, like I felt really bad because like I felt like I haven't like hung out with you or really anyone new that I met here just because I was just like all over the place and I had people visiting too.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking about that, like I think this past weekend, like St. Patrick's Day, like even if I couldn't have like stayed out or like I didn't want to stay out long, I was like, I have to go just because I want to like see people and stuff like that. So I want to make it more intentional now to just like see everyone that's here and spend time with them now that I have a chance to breathe. But
No, you should feel bad about it. It's fine. We spent so much time together this weekend.
Yeah, I saw Trun's place for the first time this weekend, so that was pretty good. Your place is super cool and a really nice location too, honestly. So
Thank you.
yeah,
What location is that?
I like what you guys did. Hell's Kitchen.
No, I
What
want
was
an
I
address.
saying?
I want an address.
Yeah, we need to dox him.
Oh.
Send him aluminum
I
foil,
don't even know
everyone.
that.
Send him all
Just
aluminum
like
foil you
that.
can find in New York to that apartment.
Yeah.
I said the name of the grocery store that I live near, so
Oh,
hey,
shit.
don't find me. Okay?
Yeah, you see
Turn around right now.
$22 aluminum foil, just walk out the store and start going to every building.
Yeah.
Don't write any Python scripts. Don't write any Python script parsing aluminum foil prices in this. Yeah, Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen. It's honestly doesn't take that long for me to get to yours too. Like just one transfer. Like I said, everything here is so accessible, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Would you say you guys have gotten better with the subway stations and like what platforms to be on? Because I will say when me and Christian were there, we did get lost. I mean, to be fair, we didn't use subway that much, and like the one time I went solo, I did pretty well. I didn't get lost at all. But we went on subway I think like
drunk.
2 or
That's
3
also
Impressive.
more impressive.
Yeah, I was also pretty drunk. Yeah. But yeah, but when we went together, like we had some problems like knowing what platform to be on and like all that shit, like know what directions where and like where we're going.
Yeah.
Have you guys gotten better with that? I mean, I know it's been very recent moves for you too, but would you say you guys have both gotten better with it or still struggling a little bit?
So actually, yesterday I made a very not big realization, but like it kind of just clicked for me. Because what had happened was like me, Amar and Swati and Bhavana and Amar's boyfriend Veska, we all got dinner, and afterwards we're going home, and the train that me and Swati were supposed to take, basically it got delayed because someone got hit by a train on 14th Street, which is crazy.
Oh my god.
But on the bright side, I saw a map in a different train. Don't cut that.
Keep that in.
Oh my god. Although it benefited me because I got to read a map.
Oh God.
So like in my mind previously, right, like there's like all these different letters like F, M, J, 1, 2, 3, there's numbers too, and I'm like, how do they all like relate? Like what is the what is the difference, right? And like where I am, actually I don't want to give more information about where
No, give us more.
but there's some trains.
Someone has a board like piecing it all together.
Yeah.
They got the red
That's
string.
so
They're like,
funny.
he's gotta
Yeah.
be here.
We got it.
There's a few trains right next to me, right? Like the train stop next to me. There's a couple trains that go up and down. There's one that goes left and right. And like I made that realization once I moved here, like the first week, and I was like, oh, okay, I see. Like if I want to move like avenues down, then I take this train, and if I want to go like streets down or up, then I take this train. And they're all like one color, and I was like, okay. When I saw the map this time, I saw like the color, like the route of that color of trains. So like anywhere on there, I think for the most part, I can grab one of those trains and get home.
Okay.
There's other colors, obviously, that have different routes that take you to a different part of the city. So like on the west side, it's green, I believe. Like you can take the 6 and what else? I don't know what other numbers, but I remember the 6. Then orange kind of goes through like the middle of the city, I guess. There's like F and M.
Yeah.
Basically now I'm just like learning the color routes, and I feel like no matter where I am, if I know like kind of generally where it goes, I can make a good prediction of like which one I need to get on and where I need to get off.
Yeah.
Because like I know my street and avenue cross section, right? So I can just get off around there, and I'll probably have to walk maybe 10-15 minutes max, but at least I know I can get myself home without a phone, I think now. One thing that still really confuses me, and like Amara, you might know because you're a big New York person, huge New York person, New Yorker. It tells you like get off or get onto the subway at like the northeast corner or the southwest corner. I'm like, bro, I don't got a fucking compass on me. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that still makes no sense to me.
I honestly still use like the maps because like every time I get like sometimes I know which trains to take, but I get so disoriented like which direction I'm facing when I'm like when I get off the train and stuff like that. Like I need to use the map just to know like what street to go on next. So yeah, it's just so hard to tell. To this day, like I don't think I've ever taken the right exit or entrance to like the subway because I don't know.
Yeah, literally the only way I can orient myself is by looking at like the shops on the corners of like the intersection and like, pointing my phone to where like that blue highlight faces the way I want to go.
Yeah, exactly. I honestly didn't even notice like the color thing that you were saying and how like they're all generally the same line or street and stuff like that. But yeah, one thing that I did tell like my roommate Bhavna recently is like if you're ever looking for like the subway, you just look for that like green, like white and green light. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Every station has like that lamppost that has like the like orb green and white light, so you know where the entrance is. But because at first like sometimes you wouldn't know that there's one on every corner because like there isn't just like the steps down, like you'd have to look at the side of the building, but you always know if you see like that orb. But, yeah,
so many travel hacks.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Travel hacks.
So the last thing we had on our list about New York City was me and Christian were actually there the weekend. Amar and Bob moved into their apartment. And we hung out with them on that
Coincidentally,
Sunday.
we would never go like on purpose. Just want to make that clear.
We didn't help at all with them setting up the place.
Absolutely not.
But they did need help. You know, they're strong, independent.
Yeah,
women
they did a
with
great
their
job.
with family support.
I
Family support.
appreciate that.
Before you continue, do you put anything in the top cabinets yet? Can you reach there?
Can you reach that?
We have one step stool, and when I'm on my toes on that step stool, I can reach it.
Let's go.
Good to know. Good to
But
know.
after this call today, we're gonna go across the street to the store there because I saw that there is a 3-step stool.
Whoa. and then everything is within your reach.
Upgrading from a step stool to a step ladder.
Christian and Ron are gonna come back in a year, and it's just gonna be the ladder that rolls around like they have in libraries.
Honestly, I saw like a TikTok or an Instagram reel of someone having that here, and I'm like, I wouldn't be opposed, but I don't know how to set that
Wait, in their
up.
kitchen?
Yeah, it was in their
What
or
the
like
fuck?
bedroom, like studio, kitchen. I don't even know, but
Crazy.
That's
it
crazy.
was here.
I was thinking
I
like,
think
you
I
know,
need
if
that.
I wanted to store something there. Like I could just like, put something in like the top cabinet and like come back and it'll
Leave
still
it
be
there
there.
forever.
Like,
Untouched.
all right, sorry. Continue, Haran.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we hung out with them that Sunday. We grabbed dinner with them, and then after that, our friend Neha, that's been on the podcast many a time, took control, of the night, and she took
After being very late.
after being very late to the dinner. That is true. Yeah. We went.
Dude. Go ahead.
Oh God. Okay.
So
we went
guttural.
to the Spanish bar, and I literally looked up the name like less than a few days ago, and I still can't remember the name. But it's really good.
Verlaine.
Yes, what Amar said. You get very good lychee martinis there. Try to piss people off. Me and Christian honestly got a lot. Anyway, long story short, we got relatively drunk, kind of, but we got buzzed. And then we left, and we were gonna go back to Ankit's place. But meanwhile, Bob and Amara somehow got roped into going out after that. Literally the day after they moved in.
Yes.
and I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
That's crazy.
I didn't see that happening from either you or Bhavna. But did anything crazy happen that night? Anything fun? Any good memories from that night?
Nothing crazy, I would say. But yes, I think that's one thing I was like, because we went out with like people that we kind of just met. Too.
Yeah,
like,
I mentioned
I
that.
did not know them before this night, and they were like such enablers to like get me to stay out. But honestly, I appreciated that because I was like, I felt like, I don't know how to say it, like wanted. Like I don't know, like I felt like they wanted me to be there.
Yeah.
We wanted to have a good time.
What did you try to say, bro?
bad.
We went out millions
No.
of times and you never felt wanted? Hell no.
No, what I'm saying is like I got that from my friends in DC, and it was scary that I didn't have that like, immediacy of like that friend group here.
Yeah.
So seeing that, everyone was just so open to like stay out and just hang out, like it doesn't even have to be crazy. Like we could just like get drinks or talk or whatever. Like it was people that I just met too, and the fact that they were like already comfortable with me going out with them, I really appreciated that. But honestly, all we did was just go to another bar and we just like talked, and I got to know all of them a little bit better. So it was super chill. And then the week after that, like we hung out with some of them again, and like because I think a few of them also live in like Brooklyn, so like we like went out in Brooklyn too, like just stuff like that. Like it was just all of a sudden like so easy to like kind of talk to them and just like text them and like go out. So I'm like, wow, this is great. But no, nothing wild or crazy. But yeah, lots of late nights here, I guess. I'm like, damn, like these people go hard here. Like, do they ever?
I think the problem with New
sleep
York,
or
like
get
everything being
tired?
open so late, even on weekdays, but especially like us, but weekends, shit like closes
That's
at like
true.
3 or 4 in the morning. Like it just pretty much enables you to have a long night, even if you didn't plan on it in the first place.
I know. Honestly, you guys should have stayed out too.
Nah,
we
I
had a
was.
bus the next
Had
day.
no
We
excuses.
had a bus the next day. We actually did end up staying up pretty late though. I think we stayed.
Hey,
Oh,
shut up.
So actually, no excuses.
But I wanted to sit down, bro. The 2 days before that were just. Well, if you want to know more about that, we talked about it on like 2 episodes ago, I think. So. Anyway, wait, did you want to comment on the reaction you had to what I was saying earlier?
Yeah. What was your interjection there?
I think
I feel
know
like
where
I
it's
can't say
going.
anything without being mean, but if you were listening to this podcast and you felt hurt by my comment of dude, you know what the problem is. She knows what the problem is.
Okay. And while we let that sit with you, we'll take an ad. We'll come back, and we're back. Enough New York talk. That's just boring. Everyone goes to New York. Who cares? Whatever. More interesting. You went back home recently. You went back to Indonesia last year. Do you want to talk about that experience? You want to share on anything that stood out to you when you went back?
Yeah. Oh my God. It feels like it's been forever now. But yes, I did go home or, just see my family that's there. And like a majority of my family, do still live there. Like the only immediate family I have here are just my parents and my brother. So it's, I don't know. It's sometimes surreal. Like sometimes like I feel like when I live here, I have like a really small family, right? Like I only ever see like my parents or my brother. But then when I go back, I'm like, my gosh, I have so many cousins. I have so many nephews, nieces. Like, I don't know. I feel like so disconnected sometimes. So it feels like really good to see that I have like a really big family at home and everyone's like doing well and healthy. But yeah, no, I mean, it was great. I was there for like 3.5 weeks, which sounds like a very long time. But when you go, that far across the world, it's not really worth it to stay any less than 3 weeks. So, but that was like plenty of time to spend like a week or like a few days in like every, area, just cause like we have like family from all over the place. Like, majority of the time I was staying in Jakarta, which is the capital. So a lot of my mom's family lives there. My mom's side of the family lives there. So I stayed with like at my uncle's place, and that was kind of like our home base throughout the whole month. And so that was a lot of fun. Honestly, there isn't really much to do in Jakarta except like go out to eat and go out to malls. Like everyone just goes to malls there because the malls are air conditioned and are very nice. So you just go out to eat there, and then so yeah, that a lot of reunions, honestly, but that was fun. And then I also spent a week in Yogyakarta, which is on the same island. It's in like the Java island, but it's like a few hour flights away. But my dad's side of the family lives there. And honestly, like I don't know, like now that I'm older, I feel like I appreciate like staying with my dad's side of the family a lot more. I feel like majority of the time when I was younger and we'd visit Indonesia, like we'd always stay with my mom's side just because it was like in Jakarta, like in the capital. So it was like easier. Yeah. But like this time we got to spend a lot of time in Jogja, and it was like, I don't know, it was just so much more quiet. And like my grandma's place is like, it's honestly like so cute and like so homey. Like they still have like all of their like furniture from like when my dad was young. Like it's definitely not like a luxurious place, obviously, but I like really, I don't know, like I just felt like so at peace there. Like it was so quiet. Like every morning it was like you just saw like green everywhere, and it was just like so quiet, and like you just see like my grandparents sitting on the porch, and I'm like, this is the cutest thing ever. I want to be here forever.
Yeah, I feel like when you're a kid, you don't really appreciate those small things as much.
Yeah, like exactly. Like all I wanted to do is just like, I don't know, like be with my friends or like do something all the time. But I just like liked just like sitting there like on the porch with my grandma and like seeing all like the street vendor carts like rolling by, and I don't know, it was just so wholesome. And then like in Jogja, like there's a lot of like naturey stuff to do too. Like you would drive like 30 minutes and you're at like the mountains, and then like 20 minutes away there's like a volcano there. Like you could see the volcano from my dad's house. And then like 20 minutes to a half an hour there's a beach. So it's just like everything is there, and I'm like, I did not even like know this when I was younger. And I didn't go back to Indonesia very often, so it's like I never like noticed or remembered it. So when I like saw everything, I was like, I don't know, it was just so beautiful, and I appreciate it a lot. I think that was like my favorite place to be while I was there. And then like after that, my family and I, like just like my parents and my brother, we did like the touristy stuff. Like we went to Bali. We also went to like some of the islands, like the Komodo Dragon Island, and like some other like beaches that are more touristy. So got to do a little bit of that too. And we had family that was also like living in Bali and stuff too. So got to visit them. And honestly, like it's like a different like country sometimes when you go to like these different islands, just because like the culture is so different in each of these islands. Like I don't know. I mean, Bali is like majority like a Hindu population as well. So like it was just like a whole different, like I said, like culture. Like everyone just had their own customs, and like I learned a lot like while I was there too. So that was pretty awesome. Yeah, and then we went back to Jakarta before our flight, like back to the US was from Jakarta. So we spent our last week there. But yeah, we did a lot for sure. But I think this was like my favorite. I think this was the shortest amount of time that I was in Indonesia, because like before I would spend like a month to 2 months there because it was like summer break and like and stuff like that. But now I don't have like a summer break anymore. So even though it was like the shortest amount of time, I think it was, I don't know, the best, I guess, time spent while I was there. And I just like appreciated it a lot more. So yeah, no, it was fun. I recommend it for anyone that wants to travel there.
I'll come with you next time.
Yes, please. It's also so cheap there. Like I would have, I got dinner with like my like 8 friends, and we got like sushi. The whole check was like $40. So
Crazy.
like for 8 people,
That's
it was $40 like dollars.
2.5 rolls here.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, that's one roll here. And I was like, yeah, I honestly just like paid for everyone myself, because I was like, don't even worry about it. But it was just like, it was insane.
That's always the thing that sticks out to me about Southeast Asia. Like the food is way too good for to be that fucking cheap there. It's like ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me.
It's insane. Yeah. And the best food too is like kind of the hole in the wall ones. Like the sushi like wasn't even amazing, but it was considered like high end there. But then like I would go to like kind of like the street vendor or like the family owned restaurants, and they have like a bowl of like the ramen or like the meatball soup that everyone likes there, and it's like a few cents or like $1, and it's like so much, and it's so good.
Yeah, a lot of like the ones in Malaysia, the best ones are like the open air restaurant, like the like pretty much like street food that you get like that are open till like 3 a.m, and it's like always like really good quality.
Yeah.
So I know like in Singapore, like you can't chew gum there because they like to keep the streets clean in it. Was there any like weird, like not weird, like is there any like interesting sorry. Is there any interesting like laws or like societal things
Like
that you have to
customs or
be
something
aware
like
of? Like when you go customs, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, not while I was there. Actually one that I can think of, and I don't know if this actually passed, like I didn't have to think about it while I was there because it didn't like apply to me, but a law that Indonesia was gonna try to pass was that you can't stay in a hotel if like with your boyfriend or with your partner if you're not married.
Yeah.
And I mean, for those of you that know, like Indonesia is like a majority Muslim country, so it's like kind of conservative. Like when you travel there, unless you're in like a touristy place, like you shouldn't like, be too overly revealing, or like, PDA is definitely like a no, like stuff like that. So I'm not that like people really care. Like, I mean, a lot of, the younger generations there are like definitely much more, I don't know, open now. Like they don't really care. Yeah, progressive. I don't know why they try to pass this law. And I was talking to my mom about it, and I was like, is this real? Like, I mean, like, not that I care, like, not that like my mom would care, but I was like, this is gonna be like so bad for like the tourism there, because like, why would anyone want to follow that? And also, how would they check it? Like, I don't really get it. Like,
like,
are they gonna ask for a marriage license?
You gotta carry it around with you.
Imagine she's there with Veska and the police knock on the door, and I'm like, I'm breaking up with you.
Like we're not together. But I'm like, it's stupid. But my mom was like, I don't think it's actually gonna pass. Like, I don't think it actually did pass. I don't know. I don't think like they'll like enforce it that much. And I was like, also, if you like do get caught, or like, I don't know, like if it did pass and like that's something that happens, like you could always just like tip the police car and they won't say shit. Like that stuff always.
That sounds like Malaysia.
I'm like, it doesn't mean anything. So yeah.
Great. Well, the reason I was asking is because I've compiled a list of 3 laws which are most likely not true at all, but I think it's funny to think about. The funny laws in Indonesia that we may not have known about. And you can tell me maybe you do know about this, or you have heard about it. Let me know. Okay?
I probably don't, but go for it.
So we'll go in order of most tame to most extreme. So the first one is, it's against the law to not flush the toilet after using it. Special police randomly check on public restrooms and violators are publicly caned.
Oh my god.
That is... I'm shocked by that, because
that's just common courtesy.
It is so... I mean, like, they make it illegal, but like, it's still so dirty. I don't get it. That's what I'm saying. No one actually enforces these laws.
Imagine taking a really bad shit and it doesn't flush, and then you have to bribe the police officer to not beat the shit out of you.
Oh my god. That's so funny.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Next one is even crazier. No woman is allowed to be taller than her husband. If necessary, she must chop off a section of her legs.
Wait.
You're joking, right?
No. There's
No, the list says it.
Wait, this is the second one?
This is the second
That's
one.
a bad one.
Actually, I feel like maybe I should have rearranged this one with the next one, but we'll see.
Wait, I'm honestly not surprised, but like the chopping off
Yeah, it's a
part,
little extreme. This sounds like 1300s behavior, or like something
If you're
like
a short
that.
dude, you're fucked. You're fucked.
that is so funny. Okay.
What about heels? They just
Oh
chop them off.
god,
I don't
no
know.
heels allowed.
Alright, this is the next one. Anyone found guilty of masturbation may be decapitated.
Oh, brother. Damn.
Yeah, it says as a description, masturbation is classified as a sin under Islamic law, which Indonesia has incorporated into its legal system. Technically, Indonesian law outlaws any quote-unquote immoral behavior, which this action would fall under. Wow.
I thought you were about to read off the description of what masturbation is, and I was going to stop you right there.
The site is also stupid because like it says this, like this part that I just told you, like it's like very non-legible, but then it says this part which reads, sources indicate that while the punishment of decapitation may have once been enforced, in theory they would have had to catch you masturbating, so maybe they didn't do anything.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. I was like, I knew when you were gonna talk about like weird laws. I was
We're just
like,
gonna come to that.
they're definitely gonna loop. Yeah, they're definitely gonna loop it in with like the religion aspect of it and have it be super like extreme. And I'm like, I'm not even surprised, but it doesn't get enforced. So that's really funny.
Well, now you know. And when we come to Indonesia,
Now I
we
know.
won't be doing any of those things.
Yes.
Christian
Be
will not marry
wholesome
any
boys.
woman that is taller than him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
good luck.
really had to worry about
Good
that.
luck
I
with
really
that.
had to worry about that.
Christian, would you marry?
Definitely
would
not
you
in
marry-
Indonesia.
Yes. Would you marry a girl that's taller than you, Christian?
Hey, man, that's NBA babies right there. I mean, fuck
Yeah.
we ball.
That's true.
How tall does your kid have to be at like 5 for you to know that like they have potential to be like
5 is definitely not the indicator. 5 is not the
I don't think
indicator at
5.
all.
Yeah, as long as they got legs, bro, we're chilling.
But then okay, so then you're just gonna train them to be basketball players like from birth, and then if they
Yeah.
become tall enough, then it's like now you have this.
It's low key better if you
back it up.
train it from birth. So then, like, if you don't play till you get tall, it's not always true. Like, there's cases where it's not. But if you don't like play basketball until you get tall, like you won't have like the fundamentals to like be good from the get go. But like if you train them from young, then like once they get their height, like they'll have skill to go along with it. You know, that would help. I mean, he also has to be athletic and all that shit. But that's my plan at least. My kid better be tall and athletic, or else he's not my kid. Or she.
like,
Or she.
I hope your kid's like
Or
fucking
they.
5'3", bro.
Dude, no. Don't do that. Why would you do that to me? It's the one thing I want.
Because I want you to learn just how to be a good parent, not fucking force them to go to the NBA.
This is good for them. This is what they want. They told me.
Yeah, okay.
I think I'll make my kid swim.
I hope so.
That's
Otherwise,
true.
they'll drown.
Just throw him in the pool for his birthday.
Figure it out.
Swimming is actually pretty good. I think that's a pretty good skill to have. I feel like I feel like I'm really shitty at swimming. Like I know how to swim, but I don't think I'm doing it properly. You know, I want to get better at it.
Hey, you haven't drowned yet, so
Actually, I
must be
won't
doing
drown,
something
but
right.
like I don't think my form's well for it to be like a good workout for me. You know, but
But you also like when we were in Cabo, dude was in the middle of the ocean just standing up.
yeah, he was a buoy.
Like literally.
That's
yeah, dude.
true.
you know, I was threading some water at some point. Yeah, I was.
No, you were not. You literally walked so far I could barely see you, and you were just standing up.
Did you smile when I once disappeared up from your sight? You're like, oh, he's finally gone.
What?
I said, did
No.
you ever smile when you looked back and I wasn't there?
No, I was just mesmerized by how you were still standing up, bro. I walked like 5 feet, and I was like, "Oh shit, dude, I can't do this anymore. I gotta swim."
I think I would have been terrified if I didn't see you anymore because I'm like, oh my gosh. Then like it's getting really.
It's like, am I too deep?
Yeah.
Oh, Ron's probably dead, but more importantly, am I? That's so caring of the things.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant like you're
man,
probably
Europe changes people, guys, if
okay.
you've seen it firsthand.
I'm like you're.
I know.
This is what we get for not helping them move in. It's okay.
This is what Amara meant by no one gives a shit about
Yeah,
people
anybody.
Here.
Clearly,
Yeah.
it's okay. Character
All right.
It's
development.
crazy.
Well,
Christian
yeah,
felt like that, and
apologize.
he's not even from New York. Wow. I said you feel like that, you're not even from New York. What's your excuse?
Yeah. Hey, hey man.
Hey, man.
The game's the game.
Okay, something else I wanted to touch on that wasn't not really directly related from you going to Indonesia, but I know you've talked about it like to us before that you have like a very strong like Indonesian community here. Like how important has that been to you in your life? Like, do you still have that in New York? Do you still have like a lot of friends from Indonesia that are in the city, or like how's that been?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of my closest friends are from like this community that I grew up with, and like I haven't like exactly found that here yet. I mean, I do know people from the community that lives here, but I'm not sure like how connected they are with like the the community that's here. But I think like I don't know if I'm like, I mean, I do want to stay involved for sure. Like, I don't ever want to like lose touch with kind of like what I grew up with and like the culture and things like that. But I think that's like, I don't know. I think I have to be more proactive, I guess, or more intentional about like finding that here now that I'm on my own. I feel like the only reason why I got so involved was just because my parents were just like really good about it. Like they had, you know, I mean, they're the reason why I was like in the community and like, you know, their friends and the children of their friends are like my close friends now kind of thing. So it's like, yeah, it kind of just like came with like all of our upbringings, I guess. So now that I'm here, like I kind of have to like look for that myself, I guess.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's gonna be really tough. But I have heard though that here like they do like Indonesian like food festivals and fairs and stuff like that. I think every year they try to do like a bazaar of like Indonesian foods that's like near the like kind of like embassy that's the Indonesian embassy that's like here. So definitely try to come out to that and things like that. So yeah, like I kind of have to like look for these things myself now. But hopefully it wouldn't be that hard. I mean, I feel like nowadays like things are like accessible through like social media or like or like word of mouth and things like that. But like I think I actually heard about one of these like food festivals from like my friend who's not even like Indonesian, and she just found it and sent it to me. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Like it was like on Instagram and stuff like that. So yeah, but I just have to like actually, you know, make it out there and like I said, just be proactive about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's cool you bring that up because I feel like I've been feeling that now recently too, because like I'm Sri Lankan Tamil, so like there's a lot of like Sri Lankans that are in like the DMV area that my parents have met. So like I've gone to know their kids and everything like in the last like 20 years or so. But like now that like we're all growing up and like leading our separate lives, it's like kind of on me to like find that when I move, and also just like keep the relationship that I have here, so that like if I were to return or whatever happens, that like I still like have that community, because like I can't just be depending on my parents to make those relationships for me now. Like something I have to do on my own, which is weird to, like for me to really like think about, but I guess that's part of growing up.
Exactly. And I feel like it's like kind of harder for like, I guess it's like more niche demographics, I guess. Like, I don't know. I mean, growing up, like, or like not growing up, like in college and stuff, there was like all these like student orgs for like specific like ethnicities or countries and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, you guys have such a large community, but like I never could find that for like Indonesians. Like it's always just like so much more low key, or like they're like, you know, just to click themselves. So it's like, yeah, I feel like for us it's just like we kind of just have to, you know, really look for that. But hopefully like in New York it's not as hard as it is like in like Blacksburg. So but yeah, like
there's not a strong Indonesian diaspora in Blacksburg. Come on, you can look harder.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, it's either like international students, and like I could barely communicate to them.
Oh yeah, you're too poor for them. Don't worry. Yeah. They got that bad. They got that badge.
I probably am. Exactly.
Fair.
But yeah, I feel that.
So the last like I guess location that we wanted to touch on was Istanbul, because I know I don't know. So basically, you posted photos on your Instagram when you went for you said like a day or two, I think, was your layover.
I was for 10 hours.
Okay, 10 hours. Wow.
Yeah.
And the photos were insane. And like that's like what stuck with me the whole time. If you could talk about that a little bit, how it was.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I was only there for 10 hours, but my mom and I like really wanted to make the most of our time while we were there, just because we like landed and it was like the afternoon, so it was like, oh, it's still light out, like might as well like go see it. And like so this wasn't pre-planned. It was pre-planned, but like we it was like really tough for us to find like the best way to do it in like such a compact time. We were like,
Right.
I don't think it's feasible for us to like do it, like tour everything on our own. Like I think we had to like find like a tour guide and stuff like that to like, you know, show us around. So it was just like, we almost like, you know, didn't look around Istanbul, but like luckily my mom had a friend who like did like, you know, a quick tour through like a tour guide that wasn't like that expensive. So it was, it worked out luckily. But yeah, like my mom and I mean, like my whole family, I think like what we really wanted to see were just like the mosques there. I mean, as like, you know, a Muslim family, like we just like, it's just so historic, like, and like, I just never seen like mosques like that. So it's like that was like, we really wanted to like go, we really wanted to like experience like praying there and stuff like that. So I think I was just like, even though we were there for such short amount of time, like I felt like really at peace, honestly, like seeing like the mosque and like all of like the beautiful like mosaics and murals. And even though like there were so many tourists there, like they still reserved like an area for people who like want to pray there. And it was still like so calming and so at peace. And like, yeah, like it was just like once in a lifetime, I feel like. I mean, hopefully I'll go back one day, but it felt like something like, you know, that we needed to do. But yeah, the photos are insane. Like we luckily caught like the golden hour while we were there. So it was like perfect timing to like, you know, get our pictures in front of the Blue Mosque and stuff like that. So it was, yeah, it was really cool. And then we like, we stayed until like sunset. So, and like usually they like through in all like the speakers, they would do like the prayer call for like the sunset prayer. So we got to like hear all of that. And it was just like, it was just really beautiful, like the setting and like hearing the prayer calls and stuff like that. So it was surreal. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy use of a layover.
10 hours,
Yeah.
all that, that's insane.
Because like whenever I go to Malaysia, like I always have like a 5-hour layover in Japan, so not that long. But like we usually, I literally always my go-to plan is always like go sit in the sun. I just take like a 4-hour nap in the sun, and then I go aboard the next one. 'Cause I don't know, it always feels nice. But then last time I was on business class, so I got like club access and all that, you know, that cool stuff. Didn't want to flex, but I had to, you know. But now it's making me feel, I feel jealous that I never actually.
Brooklyn.
I feel jealous that I never like went out of the airport just like go see like a little bit of Tokyo, whatever I could see in like those a couple of hours that I had, because I've never actually been to Japan, I guess, like outside of the airport. No, I always wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, 5 hours is kind of tight to try to see like a lot, but it just depends on like where the airport is,
how
like,
feasible
how much time
it is.
you have.
Japan transport's pretty goated. That's what I've heard. So.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I think that was like the two options. My parents were like layover in Istanbul or layover in Tokyo. And honestly, I was really advocating for Tokyo because I was like, oh my gosh, I'll get like anime merch for myself.
I'm always like waiting, like mosque, anime merch. I don't know where my head is.
What's
okay,
more
no, it
important?
wasn't like that. But I feel like, I mean, obviously, I don't know. I don't think like my parents really are familiar with like Japanese culture as much as I am. So they were like more leaning towards like Istanbul. Not that I didn't want to go to Istanbul, but I was like,
sure.
that'd be cool too, you know. But yeah, no, one day.
Where would you want to go to next? Like, other than Tokyo, since you just said that. But
That's a loaded question. I don't know. Today my team today asked like everyone on our team to like provide all of the PTO that we plan to take until September.
What?
And I was like, I don't know.
I don't know. What do you mean? What the fuck?
It's because like, I mean, like, not that we're like tied to it, but they're like our contract just ends then. So they were like, oh, we should just like have a calendar of like everyone's, you know, planned PTO until then. But then I was like, damn, like I should really think about like what I want to do this summer and stuff like that. So I was like, what do I want to go? Like, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? And I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if I'll go abroad this year. Maybe not this summer, but like towards the end of the year, maybe. But like, just because like the Indonesia trip was like really expensive and like really long. So I probably like wouldn't do a long trip like that again this year, especially since I've just moved too. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I keep telling people I've never been to Europe. Like I've never like stepped outside like in Europe. Like I've always had like layovers there when I go to Indonesia, but not actually like explored. So, and it's like not that far, I guess, like in comparison to like Indonesia or like Tokyo or whatever.
You get some cheap flights to Italy. That's what I've heard from like New York.
Someone told me. Oh, someone I know went to Iceland actually a few like weeks ago. But they like scheduled their Iceland trip so that it was like essentially like a long layover to their like on their way to like France, I think, like Paris. So because like they were like essentially like, oh, their flight from Iceland to France was free, and all they had to do was like pay for their flight from the US to Iceland. So they like, it kind of was like a free like layover. I don't know. So they were there for like 4 days in Iceland, and then after that they went to Paris. So and I'm like, I should do that because I also really want to go to Iceland one day. So maybe that's my next trip. Iceland cool. And then Paris or whatever. So if anyone wants to go, let me know. Actually, let's do it.
But yeah, I think it looks like we're going to wrap it up there, guys. We want to thank Amara again for coming on for the third time. You know, third time's the best time, especially without Harsha, that loser.
Honestly, that guy sucks.
I mean, honestly, I don't think like I've only like had a podcast with him once.
I
like,
know.
My second time
that's true.
He's ducking you, bro.
He's avoiding me. Clearly, I'm not good enough.
But yeah, Amar, is there anything you want to say to listen to the podcast? Feel free to share on Harsha a little more to end out this episode. Yeah. Whatever you want. It's all free reign for you.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Well, I'll just say, you know, thanks for having me. We covered a lot of topics, honestly, here today. I wasn't expecting, you know, I feel like this was a good reflection of like my life over the past like 6 months.
That's what we're here for.
So I'm like, wow, like lots of ups and downs, but it made me like kind of like appreciate like what I went through, I guess, this past 6 months. Like, to me, like, I don't know, like just in hindsight, like I kind of like, it didn't feel like anything like too major or like special happened, but like talking about it, I'm like, wow, I did do a lot. So I appreciate that. So thank you guys for letting me talk about, you know, my experiences, and I hope you guys will have me again soon.
Of course.
But clearly Harsha probably won't be here, so whenever Harsha is not gonna come,
the next episode I'll just be a Harsha and Amar only.
I'll replace
It'll just
him.
be Harsha and Amar straight up. No one else.
I'll just fight with him the whole time.
We want to thank you guys for listening to this episode. If you liked what you heard, be sure to check us out more on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram at Interesting Discussion, where we have episode posts. There will be a post about Amara. There will be quotes, clips, all that fun stuff over there. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this week. We'll catch you guys in the next one, and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Amara.
guys.
Bye.